Alright, good afternoon. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going back over this Pelican Catch Mode 110. The first video got a lot of questions, and over the years I have changed a few things, and a lot of these questions over the years have been about the things that I've changed, why I've done it, and whatnot. And we're going to start from the front, go to the back. We're going to talk about the trolling motor setup, the foot pedal, the rudder on the back, and some things that I probably wish I would have done differently. But I think you'll find it very helpful, especially if you have one of these kayaks or looking at one. To make up your mind whether or not you actually want to spend the money on it. In my opinion, it is definitely worth every penny. It's just a blast to fish out of. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start out talking about the trolling motor build. This is a Minn Kota power drive housing. That's electric steering housing with electric lift. The trolling motor itself is just a Minn Kota Enduro 30 like you get at Walmart. You can use the 30, 45, 50, and 55 on this kit. But I just like to stick with 30s and 45s mostly. They give you plenty of power to do anything you want to do on your kayak, but it doesn't draw that much juice, not like the 50s and 55s. But this is on a quick attach plate, so you can unplug this, pull this off the front of your kayak when you get ready to load it and unload it. It's just really handy to be able to do that, you know, just get that weight off the front of your kayak. It weighs just over 20 pounds with a Minn Kota 30, so if you use a heavier trolling motor, it's going to weigh a little bit more than this, but overall, just really handy setup, and really like how low profile it is. You know, if you're doing a side cast or what have you when you're sitting down, you don't have to worry about smacking that trolling motor with your rod and breaking the tip. But just really handy to be able to, you know, get that off the front of your kayak. And you can stop this at any point that you want to, up and down. You can, you know, if you're in really shallow water, you want to use it in a foot of water, you can still do that. But it's really handy when you're coming up to the bank and you just want to raise it up, come into the bank without hitting your trolling motor. Just really like that setup, and you never have to leave your driver's seat to do any of this. And I'm going to go back there now and show you how all this works. All right, so you got your up and down. Like I said, you can stop that at any point. You know, if you're in like a foot of water, you can use it like that right there. Then going back down, stop anywhere you want to. Then you got your power steering. You can turn that plumb around too if you want to. This trolling motor setup here, you still have your reverse, but if you want to use, turn it plumb around and use that as your reverse, you can do that as well. You got your on and off there, forward and reverse. But just really simple, really easy setup. And like I said, you're using your factory switch to power your trolling motor. You're not doing anything like a PWM or something like that, although you can if you want to. But now we're going to get into how you take everything apart and off the front of the kayak real quick. Okay, so when you're ready to take the trolling motor off, all you have to do is raise it all the way up like this. You got two connections on this side. Just unplug them two. Then you have two connections on the other side here. Just unplug them. Then you have your little screw stopper on this side, little screw there, and just pull it off. And that's all you're left with. That's one thing I really like about this. You know, you're not left with hardly anything up here other than this quick attach plate. And I took the original front handle off and just used them two front holes there for the front two boats. Then drilled two holes back here, put rubber boots under there so it'll keep it waterproof. And you can also use this as your front handle as well. But if you're on the fence about adding a trolling motor to the front of your kayak, especially this Pelican, it handles it very well. It doesn't flex or doesn't try to crack or anything like that up here. Pelican does a really good job with their plastic. It's just really durable. Just never had any kind of issue at all with this kayak as far as any kind of cracking or anything like that. But you'll notice there's three more connections right here. This is for the foot pedal. You don't have to remove them to remove the trolling motor. A lot of times when I'm traveling, I'll put the foot pedal underneath a little flap right here, and I just leave it plugged up. So you don't have to unplug that to remove your trolling motor. Just kind of nice to be able to do that. Okay, so to gain access to the inside of the kayak, I just put a deck plate in here. These are just really simple deck plates. You can get these on eBay or Amazon in all different sizes. It has a rubber seal in here, so you don't have to worry about it leaking, and I put silicone around it as well. But that's how I gain access to the inside to put my nuts and washers on the back side of this quick attach plate. And then coming over here to your plugs, these are just simple SAE plugs. You can get these on eBay or Amazon as well. They don't cost very much, just nice and waterproof. But the power plug, you come over here, this is a motor guide power plug. I really like them power plugs. They're just really nice, really durable plugs. They just last forever. I've got two of them. I also got another one over here on my foot controls. That's my power plug for the foot controls, and then steering plugs there, SAE plugs as well. Then you'll notice coming over here, I got two track mounts on each side. I got these on eBay, and they're basically just the same quality as the ones that come on the kayak, just a little bit cheaper. And they come with screws. I got a camera mount there on that one, but I got one on each side right here. Just really handy to mount lights or cameras up here. But you'll also notice this kayak has rod tip holders here, and I didn't really know if I would use them that much. Just, you know, I never had them before on any other kayak, but I just really fell in love with them. You know, if you're out there and really thick stuff, you know, a lot of overhanging trees and stuff, and I can't use my rods in my BlackPak, I usually just take 1 or 2 rods with me that day, and I'll put the other one under here, and it just really comes in handy to keep that rod tip just kind of bent, you know, where it doesn't get hanging on anything out there like brush or whatnot. Just really fell in love with these. It's really simple. But coming over here to the flap, like I said in the first video, I didn't know if I was going to keep this on here, but that's another thing I fell in love with. You know, when I put my kayak in and out, I wear muck boots, and that's where they stay after I'm done. I just put them under here, don't have to worry about them going anywhere. They just fit perfectly right here, full-size pair of muck boots. And it also has a paddle flap right here as well, so if you got a long paddle, you can put your paddle right there. I use a single paddle like this one here. I forget, I think it's a 4 or 5 foot long paddle. You know, in the wintertime, I've used a lot of double paddles and they get you wet, and that's one thing I can't stand is any kind of water in the kayak really. But if you use this single paddle correctly and throw it in front of you, you throw all that water out of the kayak and nothing in the kayak gets wet. You know, that's really good in the wintertime. I do a lot of winter fishing, spring, fall, where it's pretty chilly, and you don't want to get wet. You know, you don't want to freeze to death out there. So really like single paddle, really works really well, just fits right in there perfectly like that. Now we're going to move on back. All right, so moving back, we're going to talk about the rail mounts. These are ones that originally come on the kayak on each side, and I put a camera mount on each one of them as well. And they haven't tried to crack, come loose, or anything. They've held up really good over the years. Like I said, the ones that I put on the kayak are almost the same quality as these. Really nice rail mounts on each side, and that's factory ones that come on the kayak. Then your foot adjustments here, they have held up really good over the years. I've never had any trouble out of them. They are kind of flimsy, you know, when you first get the kayak, you're thinking, oh, well, these ain't gonna hold up. But over the years, they have held up great. Still move really good and freely. I just think they're really nice. You know, if you're a taller person, I don't think you'll have any trouble adjusting for your legs and whatnot. But the mat here in the bottom as well, I really figured over the years that it would try to peel up. It's just like it was when it was new, except for the color. It caught a lot of fish. You can definitely tell all the fish slime and everything over here over the years, but I haven't tried to peel up or anything. Just really held up nice. Got a nice bass right there. I really love that. But you know, if you're a stand-up fisherman like I am, I love to stand up. That's why I got these foot controls. This rubber mat right here just comes in just super handy to keep your foothold. It doesn't try to slide or anything like that. Just really like that. Moving over to the scupper plugs in this kayak, you got really big scupper plugs in this kayak, and they are just super hard to get out. And they don't leak. That's one thing I like about them. A lot of kayaks, you know, you put the scupper plugs in there, and especially if you put too much weight up front, you know, they start going down, they will leak, and I just hate that. You know, like I said before, I don't like getting water in the kayak, and these scupper plugs here are just really good. They don't let any water in the kayak, and I really like how big they are. You know, not them. You know, a lot of kayaks having little ones, I just hate those. But moving over to the foot controls here, this is just a for your trolling motor power. Whatever speed you have it in, you just hit that button there. Whether you're in first, third, or fifth, whatever, it'll turn the trolling motor on and off just when you hold your foot down. But you got your steering controls here, just left and right, what have you. Just really nice. Love them. It's just simple. And I got a separate video shows how I wired that all up, and it only works on this trolling motor build here, so something to know there. But we're gonna move on back. Okay, so moving back just a little bit more, we have a rod holder up front right here. This is a factory rod holder, and it hasn't come loose or anything over the years. It's held up great. A lot of people don't think about it, but you know, when you catch a fish and get it to the kayak, you know, you want a place to put that rod. You know, a lot of people, they'll end up accidentally having one going overboard or whatnot, and I think we've all done that at some point. But you know, it's just nice to have a rod holder up front right here. Put that rod, tend to your fish, you know, and you just get it back when you're ready to go fishing again. But also, you have cup holders on both sides right here as well. Just little bungee cord, simple cup holders. I've really used them a lot over the years as well. You know, holding your drink, your bug spray, your sunscreen, or any kind of scent stuff you want to take with you. It's just really good for keeping that right there out of the way. Got one on both sides, and that bungee cord, that's still the original bungee cord. It's held up great. But you also got handles on each side as well. One there, one over here. And these here have not come loose over the years. You know, I've picked it up quite a few times from the side like this. And you know, this kayak weighs just over 65 pounds, so you still need a good handle to pick it up. And them right there have held up really good over the years. But now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the seat. All right, so this is not the factory seat that come in the kayak. I got this on eBay. You can get it on Amazon as well. They're a little bit expensive, around $140, but I just really like this seat. It's a lot higher than the factory seat. You can, like I said, I got a boat cushion in there, even more heights. But the factory seat, nothing wrong with it. It's a really comfortable seat, but I just wanted something higher. And my original design, I used paddle holders to put it in here, and I used the original strap. But over the years, I found out that I wanted to be able to permanently mount the seat in the kayak without having to worry about, you know, forgetting to bring it and whatnot. It's just in here, I don't have to worry about it. So I used these Lizard Go mounts, and they're made for UTVs and stuff like that, you know, mounting like windshields and whatnot. So just a super tough mount, really happy with them. And I got a 3/4 inch piece of aluminum right there, just kind of gives it a little bit more height. And then I got Scotty weld nuts holding this flat piece of aluminum in here, and it's all bolted to that. So definitely not going anywhere, just permanently mounted in there. But I got a red light right here mounted onto the front of it. I just really like the red light, just doesn't draw in any bugs, kind of illuminates the cabin right here where you can see your foot pedal and whatnot for a little bit of a, you know, late night trips or whatnot. Just really nice to have that. Now we're gonna move on back to the fish finder. All right, so coming to the fish finder, I got it held in there with a little piece of track mount right here, and that is a Yak Attack mount. I really like this mount. It's really easy to adjust to move around. You got a lot of adjustment there. And then the fish finder itself is a Garmin Striker 7. It has your regular chirp. It has your clear view down, clear view side scan. Really like those clear views. You know, if you're out there looking at a log or a brush top under the water, it's really, really detailed to see all them limbs and everything. You can just really tell details really good in that for finding any kind of structure. It'll put you on a lot of fish and a lot of structure that you didn't know was there. But one thing I like about this fish finder, it is just so simple to use. I think anybody could use this fish finder. It's just super easy to set up and use, nothing complicated about it whatsoever. But to me, it's just a perfect size. You know, it's not too big, not too small. I originally had a Striker 4 years ago, and I liked it, but it just, the screen was so small on it, and it didn't have clear view. And that clear view is just worth every penny to me as far as finding detail, what you're actually looking at. Just definitely worth it for sure. But you know, one of these days I might actually go to like a live scope or screens up front. But right now I'm just really liking this fish finder, really liking where it's at. You know, just right here in that sweet spot where you can see what you're doing, click your buttons real easy, whatever. But I got that running off a 12 volt, 12 amp hour lithium battery. This battery here will run that thing for days. But a really super light battery, doesn't add much weight to the kayak at all. It's just held in there by a bungee cord. But coming over here to the control box right here, this is a different box from the original one I had. Same dimensions, but it's just taller. I found out that, you know, I was going to mount more switches in here and whatnot, and I just wanted a taller box, and it's black instead of cream the color. This switch right here is the one that controls your speed. You can get this knob right here on eBay, and you got another joystick right here. That's how you control your steering up front right there. And that will also work when you have your foot pedal hooked up as well. You can use them together. Your up and down switch right here for your cylinder up there. It's really simple. And then you have another switch right here that I'm going to use later on for my power pole setup. That's definitely a future project there. Now we're going to move on back. Okay, so this little battery box right here, my original one was a lot bigger. It had 2 6 amp hours in it, and I found out that that was just way too much power. I was never going to use that. I can be out there filming all day and use my cell phone, my camera, and I won't even use half of this battery here. This is a 4 amp hour. This is a DeWalt battery. But this little box right here, you can get these at Harbor Freight. They're just a little box, waterproof, just really handy. But you can get these little mounts right here for fitting all kinds of different batteries. Like I said in the original video, like Milwaukee, Hitachi, Craftsman. Just get on Amazon, look them up. You can find all different ones. And we all have power tools. You know, almost all of us have some kind of power tool. And being able to use that battery to power something on your kayak is just really handy. And I just got that directly wired to a cigarette lighter plug right here inside. And that just plugs right there to the side. And I just use a Belkin charger that's got 2 slots in it. You can put any kind of charger you want to in it. Just held up really good over the years. Really like that charger. You can get that at Walmart. But just really like that setup. It's really simple, Really simple to use that. And you can hold an extra battery right here on the side right there if you need a little bit more juice. But like I said, over the years I just found out that that 4 amp hour right there just does everything I need to do as far as filming and charging everything. All right, so moving back to these rod holders here, this is kind of one of them things I wish I would have done differently over the years. Like I told a viewer the other day, he was asking about these, and I would recommend going to Scotty mount, the ones that have a little bit of a higher rise right here. This is a flush mount right here, and these look really nice, and they are nice rod holders. But over the years, I found out that the angle, the rod holder will hit the kayak in the back if you want a steep angle like this for like filming, or if you want to put a rod in here. I've had to cut that back off that rod holder to make it where it wouldn't hit the kayak. And Scotty Rod Holders, they're just real good quality, real good rod holder, and they have that higher mount and you wouldn't have that problem. So I would definitely go with something else other than this flush mount. And another thing I want to talk about is the position of these. I just really like where they're at. You know, I wouldn't put them anywhere else. They're really close to you. You don't have to reach way out of your way to get your rod out of it. And when you catch a fish, it's just really easy to put your rod in there, tend to your fish, like that one up front. But like I said, the only thing I would change was the height of them. Just don't go flush mount. And but if you're a long line troller, it's really nice to turn them sideways. You know, turn them down a little bit and have them pose out each side. And it's just really close to you, so when you catch a fish, you don't just have to reach out of your way to grab that pole. You can just grab it real quick, and just really nice for trolling. But overall, I've really liked where they're at. I just don't like the height of them. But moving back, you got these factory ones here. They're coming really handy over the years, especially when I put my umbrella mount on there. When you put the umbrella mount on there, you can't have more than 2 rods in here. You can have the 2 in the back. You got to take these front 4 out, and you can just put them on both sides, put your 2 in the back. So you can still carry 4 to 5 rods with you if you want to put one up front here. But that umbrella mount, I really like it. It's also permanently mounted into there, mounted with the seat. It's got the Lizard Go mounts, just like the seat does. Just like I said, really tough mounts. But this umbrella mount here come off Amazon. Just really universal umbrella mount, really secure. It has these screws in there that really lock it down, and it will fit all kinds of umbrellas. And it's really easy to adjust the height for that umbrella. You know, over the years, out here in the hot summer sun, it's just really nice to have an umbrella. You know, to get that heat off of you. It's just a really nice way to mount an umbrella on there. So, you know, when you put that umbrella on there, these rod holders here come into play. You know, just put some extra rods in here to kind of get it out of the way of that umbrella. But moving back, I've got a track mount right here on both sides. That's the same one I put up front. It's got camera mount there as well. And that's another thing about that umbrella holder. I've used that a lot over the years for a camera mount. That's one thing I found out over the years filming. You can never have enough camera mounts. It's just multiple angles everywhere you want to imagine. It's just really handy to be able to put that camera mount anywhere you can. And I've used these here for camera mounts, these. Just a lot of them over the years. So now we're going to move on to the BlackPak. So now we're going to talk about the BlackPak. Something I didn't think about when I bought this was the color of it. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but you know, it being black, and here in the south, it gets super hot in the summertime, and you can't put any kind of soft plastic in this thing. It'll melt any kind of soft plastic. It's so hot in here, and it'll even warp some of your Plano boxes as well. Some of the inside of them will get kind of warped or whatnot. I just didn't think about that. I don't know why. Over the years, I just didn't think about it. It shouldn't be black. It needs to be some other color than black. You know, if you live up north, you know, where you're not getting those super hot summers like we do down here, black would probably be just fine. But this one here is the biggest one they make. And it fits this kayak perfectly in the back here. And I got that held in there with the original bungee cord that came on the kayak. Doesn't try to move around or anything, but the rod holders on these are just awesome. Really like them. Got the little leashes right here that come with it. And out the side right here, I drilled a hole for my battery. It's just another motor guide plug right there, and it runs through the kayak to this control box right here. But going inside of it, we have 3 full-size Planos right there. And then we got a little one here for my lighter tackle. And then we have my new Goldenmate Orion 1000. I don't know if you watched the video I did on this battery, but we got just crazy runtime out of it, and like 19 miles. But I'll never go that far, but it's just definitely nice to have it if you need it. We've got some really nice handles on each side of it here to pick it up with. But just really impressed with that battery, really liked it. But coming here on top, you can get these at Walmart. You get 2 of them for like $15, and it's just like the perfect size for the top of that BlackPak. Just fits it perfectly. But I just keep all my crankbaits, stuff like that, stuff that I don't really care about getting too hot or into sunlight. It just fits that top perfectly. Now we're going to move back to the rudder setup. All right, so now we're going to talk about the rudder setup that I made for it. The reason that I went to this rudder setup was the factory one, when you go backwards and hit something, the rudder would pop up and sideways out of place. And you couldn't get it back in there unless you climbed out of the kayak and put it back in place. So, you know, when it did that quite a few times, I was really starting to get annoying, and that's why I built this one. But this is a 1/4 inch aluminum here, and that's 3/16 aluminum there. And I just traced out the format of the original one and just cut that out, and bolted it right here just permanently with a 1/4 inch bolt. It's got nylon washers right there to keep it nice and quiet, but it still works basically just like the factory one. Got the same bungee cord right there, so you just flop it up out of the way just like the factory one, just like that. But this here is actually quite a bit bigger than the factory one. It's a little bit longer and a little bit wider here. The reason I did that was, you know, when you're out there on the windy days, the back of that kayak tries to drift around a little bit, and it kind of acts like a drift paddle. You know, it kind of helps slow that down, so kind of helps out on the windy days and whatnot. But coming down here, right here, you'll notice this little eye boat. And if you see my video how I load and unload my kayak, I use a winch, and that's where my winch hooks to now. I just got that single eye boat right there under here. You don't even have to see it or whatnot. It's just out there out of the way. Really like it right there, but just that winch setup is awesome. If you haven't seen that video, I'm still using it, still love it. But the fish finder here is still mounted the same exact way, same place. Just got them rubber boots right there, just kind of gives it some play where if it does hit something, it'll kind of give it a little play in it. But like I said, first original video, and I really was afraid that putting it here would be a bad idea. But it doesn't catch on anything, not grass, not lily pads, just out here out of the way. You don't even have to think about it or worry about it. Just I used the original boat hose from that top plate through here, mounted it there, but just really like it there. But all right, so I just wanted to add a few things here at the end. You know, if you're like a floater, or if you want to do just simple paddle trips, but you want to have a nice kayak to do it in, have a comfortable kayak and have plenty of room, I think this will be an awesome kayak to do that in. It's a kind of a light kayak, you know, it weighs just over 65 pounds, but it's a short kayak. It really maneuvers really good. The rudder system on the back works great as long as you don't put a trolling motor on it. You get into some issues when you put a trolling motor on it, but overall, it's just a super stable kayak and just really comfortable kayak to be in. That's the reason I said I think if you want to do floating trips, paddle trips, whatnot, I think it'll be a great option if you ever look at it to do that. Or as far as fishing wise, it's just a super fun kayak to fish out of. It's just, to me, it's my opinion, it's just one of the best ones to fish out of as far as the size of it. It's just so versatile to get anywhere. Like I said, it doesn't weigh a ton, it's short. But if you don't mind doing things yourself, like the trolling motor build, the seat upgrade, it can turn into a really awesome fishing kayak for not a lot of money. I mean, not compared to some of the other brands out there. But like I said, I just think, in my opinion, it's a great kayak. The only thing I think that Pelican needs to do is raise the seat up. If they would have raised that seat up, they probably would have nailed it on the head on this kayak here. I think it would have been an awesome kayak then. But I'll link the videos down on how to build a trolling motor, how to wire it up, how to do your box, a few other things as well. But like I said, if you got any questions or comments, just drop a comment. I'll get back with y'all. But that's going to be it for today. Appreciate y'all watching. Until next time.